Okay, we're working with string sort of follow up on what we did yesterday. I'm going to add a few more methods today that you're going to be able to use, and these will be really good with regards to manipulating strings. Um, when we start getting into forms and start getting into receiving data and having to validate the data, it's going to be very powerful for you to be able to decide in the string looking for information like search words. Checking on position of letters. We use that in to check on whether something that's entered is a valid email address. You can look for certain things. But let's just go through a few more methods here. You'll see that your code is defaulted, and we start off with a sentence that says, Mr. O'Leary is really enjoying this class. Okay. Now what we want to do is use the first method that we're going to talk about, which is the replace method. And I'm going to type in replace text. I'm creating a variable, and I'm using the object that I created, the string object, sentence, and I'm going to say replace. And in here I can change, and the first variable that I send it is what text I want to replace. So I'm going to replace Mr. O'Leary is, and I want to replace that with I am. Okay? And then I'm going to just change this and have this show the resulting text. Okay, so this first method is the replace method. You put in your first parameter here, which is what you're looking for, and the second parameter is what you want to replace it with. And it will go and replace that text throughout your variable and return the result with the new text. I am really enjoying this class. Okay. Next one that I want you to do is a search. And a search is just going to return where the location is of the text that I'm entering in. And this is very similar to the index of that we did yesterday. But this is going to give you a little bit more power moving forward. So I'm searching right now. I'm sending it the parameter of enjoying. It's going to tell me what position enjoying is in this sentence, and it's going to return that as a number position. All right. This next one that I'm going to do is the ability to slice out a specific text. Rather than returning the entire variable or returning the just a number, I want to pull out just a specific section of text. And there's two ways that you can do this. We use the slice method first. And what you do here is you say sentence slice, and then I say I want you to slice between the 31st position and the 40th position. So if I'm going here, it starts 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I won't count it all the way out, but I'm going to slice off the piece from 31 to 40, and then it'll return that as a variable. So it pulls out his class from Mr. O'Leary is really enjoying this class. So this is 31 to 40. Now what we want to do is I want to show you another way to do that, which is using something called a substring. And I see substring a lot. We'll call this substring test. And what we do is sentence substring. And then you tell it where you want to start, same as the other one, but instead of telling it where you want to end, you just give it a number, and that's the length. So this is going to go 10 characters from position number 31 and return that as a substring. So it really just depends on what you're trying to do. Sometimes you might find the location of a word or a letter and then do a substring for characters beyond that. So you don't know. You sort of, it's interchangeable. You can do it either way, but these are two ways to create substrings from a larger string like this. So let's just confirm that works. I think I have that actually, so it includes the period as well test. All right, so his class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and the last one, which is pretty cool, And this is doing two things. One, it's showing you how you can functionally manipulate information, but it's also introducing us to something called arrays, which we'll be dealing with later. And this is where you can split up a larger string like this into pieces. And people use this a lot when somebody types in their first and last name, but then the user wants to have each one as a separate variable. They want to have first name and last name. So what they do here is they split the text. So we're going to call that words because we're splitting the sentence into words. And so we do sentence, split, and then what we're doing is we're telling the browser to what is this sentence split on. So in this situation, it's split on spaces, right? Mr. is one word, space. O'Leary is another word, space. Is another word. So we're going to say it's split on spaces. But you could have it split on commas. You could have a long list of values that's split on commas, and then your browser or your program can go through it and pull those out. And what they do is it assigns each value to something called an array, at which point later on we can use that. But we're not going to get into arrays yet. So I'll just show you this. This is going to return the list of values, and it's actually going to, even though this is separated by spaces, it's going to return them to me with each of these words separated by commas, just so that I can see that they're individual elements of this array. All right? So words. So you see here, it gives it to me, and now it's no longer a string. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual words, each of which I can refer to separately. I can change things about it. So this becomes very powerful. This is also where, just as an example, if I wanted to allow my user to type in search words, right? I want them to type in something like who became president in 1861. Well, I want to then break that into pieces and search my database with each one of those words. Well, that's what I would do. I would split this, who became president in 1861, split it into who became president in 1861, and then search on, maybe discard the words that are common, like who or in, and I would have president 1861, and then use that to search, like my search engine. All right? All right, so what I want you to do on the assignment is I want you to use each of these methods just to become familiar with how you can manipulate the data in a string. All right? Great job, and I think we're moving on to dates next.